I know that the workplace has changed for a lot of people, especially after the pandemic. People left for a while. They come back. There's always office conflict, but how do you resolve the conflict? What do you do? What if you had an office coach to make you better, more productive, have less conflicts, and not only working with our bodies, but our minds as well? What if I told you such a person existed?
I would say, really, Rob? Tell me about it.
Tell me more. So let's welcome Darcy Loma to the program. She's CEO and founder of Darcy Loma Coaching and Consulting, and she is a conflict resolution expert. Darcy, welcome to the Big 89. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here, Rob and Jane. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So I bet you're pretty. I bet you were always pretty busy. But did you find that people had a difficult time assimilating back to the office for those that were going back full time or going back to the office on a regular basis?
Yeah, there's different challenges at every phase, right? There were challenges going to fully remote and then transitioning for essential workers coming back, and now there's hybrid, and there's some who are remote and some in person, and that creates additional conflict in the workplace for teams for sure.
Yeah, and you have to figure out a new way to work together. What's interesting in corporate America, you have to watch a lot of the training videos, and you have to pass the training videos, whether it's on fairness or equality or harassment and all of the things. But we do a lot of that, and sometimes it tells you, hey, go talk to your HR representative, and you could feel inner conflict in going to talk to somebody when you know you should, or you could feel conflict when you see conflict. But you're saying that maybe it's just a coach that's helping you out in those situations may make things better.
It does at times, absolutely. I mean, we all have blind spots, and by definition, you can't see your blind spots. So you might not know and realize that something that you're doing is triggering a coworker, a colleague. And of course, when it's, and a lot of people have a hard time addressing conflict and being direct. And so left unaddressed, those moments that are frustrating or annoying that can start really small actually can grow and become really a dysfunctional or even a toxic workplace if it goes on long enough.
Well, and it can really sort of slow the growth and the success of your company if all these little internal conflicts are happening.
Well, absolutely. And that's really, truly what it is, because people are good at what they do, whether you're a dental hygienist or a lawyer, or it doesn't matter what your profession is. But what gets in the way of really being able to perform at a high level is the people problems that come at work, that instead of being able to thrive and perform what you're doing, you're like annoyed that this meeting happened, and then you go have the post-meeting meeting, and then there, all of a sudden is a level of frustration that isn't addressed, and that gets in the way of being able to do what you do best.
And it sounds like a lot of what you're talking about too, Darcy, is self-awareness. Hey, you're triggering somebody, this, that. So you're making people more self-aware. But the other thing that I like, and I know Jane's interested in it as well, you're not just talking about, working out your body, but you're also trying to improve their minds as well. What does that mean exactly in your experience for coaching and consulting?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a whole model called Thoughtfully Fit that is really designed on the principles. If you want to be physically fit, you need to train and practice. And any elite athlete knows that if you want to get better or faster, training and practice is going to help. Well, in the same way, if you want to handle your conflict in the workplace better, if you want to be able to say no and set boundaries and not judge others and react more thoughtfully when you're blindsided, you can actually train and practice your mind to be able to handle those challenges and hurdles more thoughtfully. And that's the place that a lot of people indeed don't spend time and practice. There's a study done last year by Pollock Peace Building that said 60% of employees have never received basic training in conflict resolution, and yet 85% experience conflict in the workplace.
Darcy, can I just maybe take a step to the right and ask a question about life coaching? Because perhaps there's work coaching, but I feel like once we graduate college or university, we have mentors and coaches, teachers that kind of put us in the right direction. As a person that's growing in their career, at some point you're like, oh, I need some direction. I need some life coaching. When would you say somebody can benefit from a life coach?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So our firm does life coaching, executive coaching, and team coaching. So, and if you simplify it, life coaching is when you want to have a holistically looking at your life, where you want to go, and have some goals and a vision that you want to achieve a fulfilled life. Executive coaching, same thing. It's just for somebody who's in a leadership role that maybe has more stress, more direct reports, and less of an opportunity to be vulnerable, because the higher you get up in your company, the less vulnerable you can be. And coaching is incredibly valuable to help somebody to not only increase, to your point, Rob, your self-awareness, but also to increase your systems awareness. What are the dynamics with the team? How am I leading? How am I managing? What's happening? What am I doing to contribute to these dynamics? So both, life coaching helps both in the workplace, but also in your personal life, because I find if you want to be effective in work, what's happening at home with your relationships, with your health, with your sleep, directly impacts how effective you are at work.
That's good stuff.
It's
Darcy.
all good stuff. Yeah. Good to remember.
Yeah, it really is. And you think about it in the workplace, but even to your point, Jane, personally as well. Darcy Loma, she is the CEO and founder of Darcy Loma Coaching and Consulting up in Madison, Wisconsin. But I'm sure with Zoom and getting around, you get around in the region, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we coach throughout the country, and most definitely Zoom made that more accessible.
Absolutely. All right, Darcy, thank you for joining us on the Big 89. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Darcy.
Oh, it's such a pleasure.